We have about 850 clients all around the globe, so we have a very interesting sort of sight line into the way companies in different countries are thinking. And I think that there are some things that are the same, and there are some things that are very different. And I think one thing that is the same is that all companies are recognizing we're operating in a new normal. This whole cyber threat issue is only going to increase, not decrease, and companies need to adapt to that and be agile. And I think one of the really big changes that's happened in the last year or two is how much this issue has risen up the leadership agenda, the board agenda, and it's something that CEOs really need to take ownership of. And I think it's probably most advanced in the US, but other companies are catching up. And I think CEOs are realizing that they need to do a number of things. They, first of all, need to get educated, get smarter on the subject. They definitely need to invest, both in the security equipment, but also in the skills. They definitely need to prepare for that day, should the day come when there's a crisis, and cyber crisis, and they need to respond. And I think one of the really big things is they need to try and develop a security awareness culture. Because often it's people, not just software, that's going to be the weak link. And just one person opening a phishing email can cause all kinds of damage. So how does leadership actually integrate computer security into the management and the culture of the business? But then there are many differences. And it's very hard, I think, for multinational corporations to navigate because there are different regulations in different parts of the world, and there are very different cultural attitudes in different parts of the world. I've had the privilege of living in the US for the last 5 years, so I really understand the sort of the sense of personal freedom, sense of privacy you have here. But if you go to countries in Europe where terrorism is on the doorstep, in my country, in Britain, a couple of years ago, we had a soldier macheted to death in a street in London. If you live in Paris, you've seen the Charlie Hebdo attacks. And I think what that does is that means that the citizens of those countries have a very different attitude towards what governments need to do to protect them against terrorism. And then Germany is different because of their history, and then China is completely different again. And I think navigating this environment is incredibly difficult for companies, and they actually need government's help to almost assist in the sort of rise of data nationalism, for want of a better word. It's tough.